Hi everybody, I'm Nigel Danson and I'm here with DPReview to talk about the Canon EOS 250D. But actually I'm not going to be talking about the specs of this, or probably not too much about what I think of the camera, although I'll probably mention a few things. But I want to know, can I take a camera like this, which is $650, $550 body and $100 lens, which is still a reasonable amount of money, but it is at the bottom end of cameras that you might want to go out and take on a landscape photography trip. And can I take this camera and get some great shots? Now, I'm probably the biggest cause of the issue of thinking that people need better cameras or more megapixels. After all, I shoot with a Nikon Z7. But I also say that camera doesn't matter. So what am I talking about? Well, if we just go back a few points and talk about what makes a good image, then that's probably a good starting point. And there are 4 things that make a good image. I spoke about them in a previous video, and that is the subject, what you're taking, the composition, the light and the timing. So just when you time that to get that particular subject. And if you get all 4 of those right, then that's when you get something that's really special. So it really shouldn't make too much difference what camera you have. But obviously that's not the case. And what I want to show is that it's more the functionality now of modern cameras that's important, because it's a tool that you've got in your hands. So it's more how you can use that tool most efficiently, because after all, this is a 24 megapixel Canon camera. It's going to have a really good sensor, and what I'm interested in is how's this lens going to perform at $100. So I've got a really good place here in the Peak District. It's cloudy at the moment. I'm hoping the sun's going to come out. I know what has happened though, the midges have come out and they're eating me alive, and I'm going to shoot down in the woodland here, and I've got a good composition behind me, see what I can get, and then we'll go back to the studio, edit them, and see what they look like. Let's go. Okay, the midges are still here, which is not a good thing. You can probably see them all there. I think they just sort of congregate when there's no wind. But more importantly, I found a good composition, and it's quite nice conditions at the moment to shoot woodland because it's quite flat lighting. Ideally, we'd have a little bit of fog to sort of separate the elements, but the next best thing is flat lighting like this. So I've got a bunch of silver birches up at the top, and then a silver birch that's quite nice on the right hand side here, and then just anchoring the bottom of the frame, these millstones here with ferns growing out of them, and they look really fantastic. So what I'm aiming to do is focus on the silver birch at the back there and make sure I've got enough depth of field to bring it forward to these millstones here. Then I'll bracket in the shot, and I'm also going to focus stack the shot as well, just in case I need all that data, because I don't want to go back and not have all the information. So I'm going to take the shot before I get eaten alive, and we can go and have a look at that one later as well. So the shot I just showed then was shot at 18mm, because I've got an 18 to 55mm kit lens, which is the standard sort of lens that you would get with most entry-level cameras. And what I wanted to do though is show that you know, for landscape photography, you can use all that range. It's a really good sort of standard lens to have. And if you had no other lens, then this would be all you'd really need for landscape photography. So what I'm going to do now is, I've just seen an element of the woodland here which looks really, really nice. We've got these silver birches in the background that are all vertical, but this one silver birch that's got a diagonal feel to it here. And so what I want to do is go closer to the 55mm end of my focal range here. And I've got to be careful about depth of field, because as I'm zooming in a little bit, then I get a narrower depth of field. I'm going to actually focus on this tree, and I'm not bothered if the background trees are slightly soft, but I don't want them to be too soft. So I'm going to shoot at an aperture of f5.6, f8 and f11. And that way I can have a look at the images and see, you know, which I prefer. So I've got that all set up, I've got it on RAW, I've got a self-timer on just to make sure there's no camera wobble, and it looks fantastic. I think it's a really, really nice image, this. So I'm going to take this now. We thought there was going to be no light today, so I was going to do a little bit more filming tomorrow, but as it happens, as we're driving back, just look at this, it's stunning. So I've taken some shots with the Canon, and I think I've got some good ones. We've got some amazing light on the grass here. Got to make sure I don't overexpose the background. Just here where it's coming through. There's a nice viaduct up there as well. I'm just trying to create a balanced shot between the foreground, the midground, and then the lovely light there. So I've got it on f8, but I think I'm going to just knock that up to f11 just to make sure I get this foreground in focus, but I think it will be. And then I'm just going to stop it down a little bit as well. This looks fantastic, really good. I'm back in the studio now, and I've had a chance to have a look at the photos that I've taken and print some out as well. And I have to say, it's been really fun using this camera. I've really enjoyed it. So I've got some prints of the shots that I took here that I'm going to talk about in a minute. Before I do that, I actually went on a trip to Budapest. It was actually a vacation, and I thought I'll take this as my main camera. So I only took this camera with me, and I did some street photography whilst I was there, just taking some of the amazing city of Budapest. So let's have a look at those, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the camera and show you these prints. I was just sort of walking around using the camera. I mean, it's a fantastic camera to use just as a street photography camera, just because, you know, the lens is great. 18 to 55 is probably a perfect focal range to use for that particular genre. It's so light as well, and I just had it clipped onto my bag with this connection here from Peak Design, so they're good. So first of all, let me have a look at this one here. So this is a shot that I took of one of the amazing doors. I mean, there's just so much to take in Budapest. And, you know, the cameras handle this really well. The shadow detail is nice. It's caught the highlights pretty well. The dynamic range is pretty good. I mean, obviously you can go to DPReview's full-on technical review of this camera and you can see all that detail, but in reality it operates really well. You know, again, this shot here, actually of my wife walking through this doorway, it wasn't set up at all. You know, it's come out really, really well. I was really impressed with it and impressed with the detail in this. So this shot, closer to the shots that I usually take of I suppose a city landscape, you know, is really good. Again, if you go closer to the actual building here, you can pick out the detail. And I was just so impressed with this lens. I'll show you a print in a minute from this lens, and for $100 lens, it is amazing. And then here's a few others I took, just of general people going by, and you know they're really great. Now I spent a little bit more time on this shot here, because I thought this would turn out quite well and it'd make a good black and white. There was this guy just setting up his violin at the top of the stairs here, and what I wanted to do is use these leading lines of the stairs to sort of go up, but there was some really nice shadow detail as well and light coming through. And if you remember, and I spoke about before, then subject, timing, light and composition are the main elements, and this I felt had all of them. So I'll quickly now go on to the prints, and I'll show you this one first. So this is a print that I did of this particular shot. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I mean, I was just so impressed with it. The detail is just so amazing. I mean, you can see it's really good. Now, what is really amazing about this shot is it was shot handheld ISO 6400, and you look at it and you know you struggle to see any grain on it. It is really, really impressive. So yeah, so I was really impressed with that side of it. And then whilst we're just talking about the lens and the detail, then I'll show you another print which I showed you know, on screen, but you can't really just see how good that was. I mean, in print it just looks amazing. So, you know, this print's just great, and I'll just get a bit closer in on it as well so you can see all the detail in it. But I was really, really impressed with it, and I'd be happy to sell images from this camera. I mean, this is an A3 print, but I'd be happy to sell these images. I mean, it really did perform well. I don't have that many negatives about the camera. I think, you know, going on to the actual performance of the camera itself and, you know, the ergonomics, which I think is more important than looking at the quality of the images, because the quality of images was just really good. You know, the sensor's a good sensor, and even with this really cheap lens on, I was really impressed with it. So then it comes down to the ergonomics of it, and I think, you know, I've never used a Canon camera before, and I got used to it really quickly. There are certain things on it that I quite liked. So when you switch it on, you can just see there that it's got these beginner sort of modes, which just visualizes how that setting might affect the scene. And I thought that was really good. I like that a lot. You know, this screen's really good. I was really impressed with it. The only downside that I had with it was just the viewfinder. So it's interesting really, because I've gone from SLR cameras all my life for like 20-30 years to using mirrorless for the last 2 years, and then going back to an SLR and looking through an optical viewfinder. I mean, I was the one that always used to say optical viewfinders were much better, because you just saw exactly, you know, that's the whole purpose of the camera. You look straight through the lens and you see everything. But I miss that information. I miss that live view histogram. You know, I miss being able to move the focus points to wherever I wanted, rather than having these 9 focus points in the optical viewfinder. So yeah, I miss that. So one thing I was really impressed about though with this camera was live view. So when I went into live view and I shot using live view, then I could get the histogram, which is good. I mean, I've seen cameras that don't have that in live view, and you have to look at the histogram when you've taken the photo. That's really, really useful. It's one of the most useful tools for actually when you're taking the shot, you know, and trying to get the exposure correct. So I really enjoyed that, and I think something like this camera is a perfect starting point. You know, I often tell people on workshops that, you know, don't worry about getting too much kit too early. You know, you're better waiting until you've got a problem that you need to solve, and then buying a bit of kit. So if you're thinking, oh, I need a little bit of a longer lens because I'm just, whenever I'm out, I think if I could have just got a bit closer, then buy a zoom lens. If you start to print really big and you're thinking, oh, actually I'm struggling now because I'm really at the edge of these 20 megapixels or 18 megapixels that your camera might have, then, you know, upgrade to a camera with more megapixels. But don't do it just because that's the latest camera, or that's, you know, the most expensive camera. I don't think that's the right way to go about improving your photography. What will improve your photography is thinking about, you know, light, composition, timing, and the subject that you're taking, and I think that's what will make a big difference. When I look back at that shot that I took where the sun was coming in, it was really amazing, right at the end of when I was in the woods, then you could see that I got light, I got the timing right because the light was really good, but I didn't really have a good composition, I didn't really have a good subject, and that's what comes with just staking out a location, scouting a location and going back to that same location. So they're the things that you need to concentrate on to improve your photography. But yeah, I enjoyed using this camera. It was really interesting going out with, not just with a camera at the lower end of the range, but also with an SLR camera again. Thanks ever so much for watching, and until next time, bye.